It wouldn't be a Gay Fesh Thursday stream without me talking about Star Trek, because we have probably my favorite episode of Lower Decks this week. This is season 4, episode 8, Caves, and if you've been following my channel, you know that I've had a gripe with how Lower Decks is over-reliant on making jokes that only diehard fans will get. This episode talks about themes that are very recurrent in Star Trek lore without being so over-reliant that you feel like you're missing jokes otherwise. The episode's called Caves, and it gets right into it. It's a cave episode. Now, Star Trek is famous for having lots of cave episodes. Stage 16 on the Paramount lot was called Planet Hell, and they had a big cave set there that if you've ever watched an episode of the 90s Star Trek series, The Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, or Voyager, you have seen this cave set. They used it a lot. And this episode talks about how often Starfleet officers are getting caught in caves. In fact, the episode starts, they get beamed down to a cave and they immediately lose contact with the ship, and they bemoan, oh no, we're stuck in a cave again. And the episode actually ends up being kind of like an anthology of them reminiscing on all of the other times they were stuck in caves. And because it's animation, you could make the caves look like anything, but they went out of their way to, in each of the different flashbacks where it's different caves on different planets, they make it the exact same cave layout, because that's how it works in Star Trek, because Star Trek only has the one cave. And so that is the kind of joke where I really appreciate it, and like I'm looking at shots going, yes, that is the very same cave. That is the cave where Picard had sex on the floor with Vash. That it's great. I quite enjoyed this one, and there was just a lot of fun little bits, and a lot of it is just the four of them. We actually haven't really had an episode in quite a while where we've just had the four main characters just teamed up together, and they even make mention of that, how it's just the four of them going down on an away mission together, and so they get to, you know, pal up and stuff. But that actually kind of is like one of the more emotional core of it, is that as each of them reminisces about their different cave stories, people are noting, hey, wait a second, you were friends with this person, you had this adventure and I never heard about it. And it's all of this stuff where they're feeling like kind of anxiety about drifting apart as friends and not telling each other everything. But it ultimately it has a nice happy resolution at the end where they're like, no, you know what, we're always going to be friends even if we have cave adventures with other people sometimes. Admiral Paka says respects to making all the caves the same. Yeah, actually, I saw Mike McMahon had tweeted about the Caves episodes today, and Mike McMahon is the showrunner for Lower Decks, and I replied to him saying that I appreciated that they took the efforts to make sure that all of the caves were the same cave set, and he liked the tweet. So that's definitely something that they were going for. Mike McMahon literally tweeted his way into getting this show. Before he was doing Lower Decks, I mean, he's been working in animation for a while. Like, he worked on Rick and Morty. So, like, Lower Decks kind of has a similar animation style. It's no big surprise there. But he was also running a novelty Twitter account called TNG Season 8, in which he would make fake plot synopses for a hypothetical 8th season of TNG. And they were always comedic in tone, and a lot of them just kind of ended up being the kinds of plots that end up being in Lower Decks. And I think this was like the one show that was like an outside pitch for the Secret Hideout era of Star Trek. Secret Hideout is Alex Kurtzman's company that produces all of the current Star Trek stuff. There's like 3 eras of Star Trek. You've got your Roddenberry era, which is the original series and the movies and like the first couple seasons of The Next Generation. And then you've got the Rick Berman era, which is the 90s through the end of Star Trek Enterprise. And then you've got the Kurtzman era, which, depending on where you count it, it could start with the J.J. Abrams movie in 2009, because Alex Kurtzman wrote that one. But Alex Kurtzman became the executive producer for all of Star Trek starting with Star Trek Discovery. So that Alex Kurtzman era, the Secret Hideout era. All of the other shows have been basically developed internally, but Kurtzman met Mike McMahan at a party, and Mike McMahan just pitched the show to him. And they walked out of that with Mike McMahan having his Star Trek show. So it's episodes like this that show Mike McMahan's deep love for the franchise, and not just in a I know more Star Trek trivia than you do kind of a way. This was very much a love letter to some of the repeated elements of Star Trek and having fun, wacky cave adventures. I really hope to see more of episodes like this in Lower Decks. Stuff that doesn't require you to have encyclopedic knowledge of Star Trek to get the joke, but if you have been watching Star Trek for a long time, you can appreciate the love that the show is paying to the franchise. Hey, thanks for watching. I'm trying to get my channel monetized, so your view means a lot. Don't forget to toss me a like and subscribe and ring the bell. I stream every Monday and Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific, so catch me live and join in on the convo. You can find all my socials in the description below, and thank you to all my patrons with a very special shout out to my Whale Shark tier patron Ryan D and my Anemone Friend tier patron Piftle Cakes. Your support means the world. Catch you next time.